Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Greater Houston Partnership, Bob Harvey.
All right, thank you. I'll give you just a moment to take your seats if you would, and then we'll get the program started. Thank you all. Well, good afternoon. As was just stated, my name is Bob Harvey. I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Houston Partnership, and it's my privilege to welcome you to the 2019 State of the Airports event. Now, today we're celebrating Houston Airport System and specifically the 50th anniversary of the George Bush Intercontinental Airport. That's pretty cool. As you probably know, 2019 was a year where we got to mark two important anniversaries here in Houston. One was the Apollo 11 mission. Of course, we had a lot of fun celebrating that this summer. And the other is the opening of Bush Airport. So both of those events, I would say, helped propel Houston forward as a great global city. Today, Houston has the 7th largest economy in the nation. And with such a robust economy, Houston attracts business from across the globe. Our International Trade and Advisory Committee at the Partnership is chaired by Eduardo Aguirre, and he guides the Partnership's efforts to strengthen the region's trade relationships with more than 200 countries around the globe. Ambassador Aguirre, would you stand and let us recognize and thank you for years of service? Thank you, Eduardo. Appreciate it. Now, you may have heard this stat. Houston is driven by a very strong export economy specifically. 17% of Houston's GDP comes from shipping products around the globe. We are the most export-dependent city in the United States, major metro in the United States. That's why, frankly, at the Partnership this morning, we're celebrating the announcement that the administration and Congress have reached agreement on the USMCA, the trade pact with Mexico and Canada, and we'll see that moving forward. That is hugely significant for Houston, so pleased to see that happen. Now, our global nonstop air service has been a key catalyst to building relationships and securing overseas investment for these many decades. I want to take a quick step back and look at the history of Houston's airport through the lens of the Partnership. Now, I'm going to go all the way back. You know, the Partnership was originally formed as the Houston Chamber of Commerce in 1840. And people say to me all the time, Bob, you always try to take credit for everything good that's happening in Houston. And I say no, from 1836 to 1840, we don't take credit for any of that. Everything since 1840 we take credit for. We operated as the Houston Chamber of Commerce until 1989 when the Houston Economic Development Council and the Houston World Trade Center merged with the Houston Chamber and we formed the Partnership. So 30 years ago, we formed the Partnership. So let me go back again. Let's go back to 1936. 1936, the Chamber of Commerce led the effort to convince the city to buy the land for the runways and hangars that would become Hobby Airport. And just 9 years later, 1945, Houston had 60 flights in and out every day. Today, we have over 800 flights in and out of our airports to 184 destinations. Now, getting a little bit closer, in 1947, the Chamber worked alongside the city and KLM Royal Dutch Airlines to petition the State Department to allow flights between Houston and Mexico City connecting to Montreal and then on to Amsterdam. And that became our first international route back in 1947. So think of that. In 47, Houston was just beginning to position itself as a gateway to Latin America, and now we're positioned as America's leading gateway to Mexico, the rest of Central and South America. Now, each year, companies open offices in Houston specifically because they need and want the easy access to these countries that Houston provides. Now, one other historical item I will note, in 1957, 18 members of the Houston Chamber got together and collectively bought 3,000 acres up on the north side of Harris County and sold it to the city at cost to create what is now George Bush Intercontinental Airport. So business leaders then and now today recognize the importance of building and maintaining a strong airport system. Our global air connections have helped make Houston an international city one that really the only truly global city, we would say, in the southern United States. So we have this great virtuous cycle. Companies expand here because of Houston's global air connections. Houston's connections facilitate trade. Trade attracts more companies and foreign investment, and in turn, airlines expand their nonstop service to Houston. That's the virtuous cycle that we see continuing. Now, all this is impressive in terms of what we've accomplished over these years. There are still gaps in service. We lack service to India, to name one. We currently lack service to Africa, but I think we may talk about that in a minute. And we know that Mario Diaz and the Houston airport system is working to fill other gaps in terms of our connectivity with the world. I would point out quickly that when the trade war with China comes to an end, and I hope that'll be soon, we could really use a nonstop to Shanghai, Mario, in addition to augment our service to Beijing and Taipei and Tokyo. So to put a bow on it, a strong system of airports has been critical to Houston's success for more than 80 years, and as our world has become increasingly global, our airports have been essential to our growth and success. Now, before lunch is served, I'd like to take a moment to thank the sponsors who helped make today's event possible. Our platinum sponsor is Houston Airport System. Our gold sponsors are Archer Western Construction and United Airlines. Our silver sponsor is Jacobs. Our bronze sponsors are Bracewell, Burns and McDonnell Engineering, Gunda Corporation, John L. Now III, Lone Star College, Paradis Lagardère, Parsons Corporation, RS&H Incorporated, and Southwest Airlines. Our centerpiece underwriter is All Nippon Airways. Our program underwriter is HOK. Our networking cafe underwriter is Garver. And our photography underwriter is Hansel Phelps. And our welcome entrance underwriters HKS Incorporated and Harrison Kornberg Architects. Can we have a round of applause for all of our sponsors? Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge our elected officials who are present. I'll ask you all to join, ask you to stand as I call your names, and I'll ask the audience to hold your applause until we've announced all the elected officials. We have State Representative Ana Hernandez, City of LaPorte Mayor Louis Rigby, City of Houston Council Member Jack Christie, City of Houston Council Member Michael Kubash, and City of Houston Council Member David Robinson. Can we offer all of them a round of applause? Thank you for being here, David. I'd also like to recognize Andy Icken. Andy is the Chief Development Officer for the city, a partner of the partnership as we travel the world selling the advantages of bringing business to Houston. Andy, would you rise and let us recognize you? Thank you. Now could I ask all the members of the Consular Corps here in Houston to rise and let us recognize you for all the things you do to further relationships and trade. Where is the table? Over here. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate your being here. Thanks for all you do. All right. I'd also like to ask the members of the board of the Greater Houston Partnership to stand and let us recognize you as we wrap up 2019. Our board works tirelessly on behalf of the city. Thank you all. Eduardo, Scott, thank you. Please. All right. So with that, we'll take a break for lunch, and after lunch, Scott McClellan will take the podium and we'll continue the program. Enjoy your lunch. Again, thank you for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the chair of the Greater Houston Partnership, Scott McClellan.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. If you liked your lunch, H-E-B provided it. If you didn't, it came from Kroger. I'm Scott McClellan. I'm actually not just the pretty face from H-E-B. I also chair the Greater Houston Partnership for 6 more weeks. Notice I was never good at math. 6 more weeks. Hey, we have one more elected official with us. That would be our city council person and Houston Vice Mayor Pro Tem, Jerry Davis. Jerry, you want to stand up? We'll acknowledge you. There you go. Give Jerry another piece of cake over there. Glad you're with us. You know, the Greater Houston Partnership, really our goal amongst many others, is to attract new business to come and reside in Houston. And those businesses, we hope they're big, and maybe they come from other parts of the United States, or maybe they come from other countries. But because we are a global city, one of the things that's important to us is connectivity. Because big companies don't want to have to take flights and go through commuter flights and connect someplace else. And that's why having a really good airport system is important to big cities. And that's one of the things that makes Houston so great. I mean, I lived in San Antonio for 12 years before I moved to Houston, and you could fly to Houston or you could fly to Dallas, period. And so amongst all the other great things about moving to Houston, having two great airports was really, really great. Mario Diaz is the Director of Aviation for the Houston Airport System, and he's responsible for the overall management of our three major airports. And that would be George Bush Intercontinental Airport and the William P. Hobby Airport, and then Ellington Airport. And since he arrived in Houston in 2010, Mario has led the efforts along three key basic strategic fronts. First, that was to establish Bush Intercontinental as the region's long-haul, full-service international airport, and we've certainly seen that grow. Second would be to convert Houston Hobby Airport to a regional international airport to the Americas. And then third, he's developing Ellington as the nation's 10th licensed spaceport. Now, Bush Airport has welcomed 10 new international passenger airlines and 3 new international cargo airlines since 2013. And recently, the airport celebrated the opening of the new Terminal C. You know, it's bad when the only area I know as well as HEB is Bush Airport. Like, I know all the ins and outs. But the new Terminal C North Complex, and that will lead to the construction of a new Mickey Leland International Terminal. Prior to his appointment in 2010, Mario was a deputy general manager for Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, where he was responsible for ensuring the daily operation of the world's busiest airport. Before that, he spent 17 years with the Port Authority in New York and New Jersey. And during that time, he helped to advance JFK, Newark Liberty, and Tetersboro airports. He's a native of Puerto Rico and a licensed private pilot with instrument certification. He earned his bachelor's and his MBA from Rutgers University. So, join me in welcoming Mario Diaz.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, come on. I know lunch was heavy, but good afternoon, everyone. There we go, there we go. Hey, before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to just recognize those Harmony in the Air performances. Weren't they just absolutely fantastic? And so I want to take a moment to recognize the two performers we had here today. First, the Eddie Ahmet Chim group. Please stand. And then the Ingrid Gerling duo. So we had a little bit of a jazz and classical music blend that I thought you really would appreciate. And it's really just a sampling, a taste, some understanding of the kind of amenities that we provide to our passengers that takes us in the direction of 5 stars. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't have a special recognition for Maricela Cruzman, the program director. Maricela, please stand and take a bow. Thank you all for this, the great performances. And now, 50 years. What a ride it's been. Our Houston airports are not only thriving, they are setting a new standard of world-class travel. We are reaching for 5-star excellence, the highest achievement in the world. As we continue our ascent to that goal, we pause to thank those who support and drive us to be the best and rise above the rest. To our Mayor, Sylvester Turner, and our City Chief Development Officer, Andy Icken, we applaud you for your leadership, your counsel, and commitment to the Houston Airport system. We also have with us today distinguished City Council members. We thank you as well for your influence and your support. This afternoon, I also want to acknowledge congressional representatives, members of the Council of Corps of Houston, and our indispensable federal agency partners who are here today. Customs and Border Protection, Transportation Security Administration, the Federal Aviation Administration. Each of you are integral to the Houston Airport system functioning safely, efficiently, and well. Let's give a round of applause to our supporters. We're honored that you're here. This year, we are focused on the horizon. I believe the author and Nobel Peace Prize nominee Bryant McGill said it best when he wrote, "Just beyond the horizon of the so-called impossible is infinite possibility." I believe we can only see that infinite possibility when we foster two values, vision and determination. I'm here today to tell you we have both. And the horizon for the Houston airports truly has infinite possibility. All of you have to do is just look at where we started. 50 years ago, Houston welcomed a new era. In 1969, the Houston Intercontinental Airport was created. With Hobby Airport closed, IAH, as it is now known or is referred to, is opened, at the time opened with only 2 terminals and a handful of airlines that carried 4.5 million passengers in that first year. It was a humble start, an exciting new asset for our great city, ripe with possibility. 50 golden years later, our horizon has dramatically changed. We have 3 airports that are critical to the economic growth of Houston. Hobby Airport is now a regional international hub of the Americas. Bush Airport has 5 terminals, 28 airlines, and last year, 44 million passengers had access to more than 180 destinations, connecting Houston to the global market and the economies of the world like never before. In fact, since 2010, we doubled our international service to Houston. Today, our airports continue to energize our local economy. A new study shows that in 2019, Houston airports contributed more than $36 billion to the local economy. In just a few days, we will do even more. Ethiopian Airlines will connect Houston to West Africa. And once again, Houston will have access to 6 continents of the world. 50 years ago, our ascendants had a dream. Today, we are soaring higher than most. Today, we celebrate all of our city's crown jewels, especially George Bush Intercontinental Airport and Hobby Airport, both rated by Skytrax as 4-star airports. And we are not done yet. A new McClellan International Terminal is a part of our new horizon. Weeks ago, we broke ground on the next evolution of George Bush Airport as we demolished Old C North that will make room for 6 new gates to accommodate wide-body aircraft with a completion date of 2022. The renovated and expanded terminal will support international flight operations for the 24 domestic and international carriers that serve Houston today. It will allow us to continue to invite other carriers from destinations not yet served to Houston, and therefore increasing our economic impact to Houston. Aside from creating additional capacity, the iTrip also resolves current and future roadway and curbside capacity constraints, improves the baggage handling system, and improves reliability. Every step of the way, our design were inspired by all of you. We wanted our new terminal design to reflect you and your communities, what you love most about Houston. We wanted to create a place that showed the best of our world to the world. That's something every single person in this room should be very proud of. Speaking of pride, this past March, Skytrax, the world's premier air transport rating organization, awarded both George Bush Intercontinental and William P. Hobby airports with 4-star ratings. It's the 4th consecutive year that Hobby has received this award. And it is the 2nd straight year for Bush. Houston remains the only city outside of Asia and the Middle East to have 2 4-star rated world-class airports. And it's all because of you. But we aren't satisfied yet, and we won't be until we join the only airport outside of Asia and the Middle East, which is 5-star, and that is Munich, Germany. If Munich, Germany can do it, we can do it. Customer satisfaction is an area that will help us rise above the rest. Earlier this year, both Bush and Hobby airports were given top honors for having the best customer service by airport experience news. George Bush was winner in the large airports category, while Hobby won in the medium to small airports category. This award is especially important to me because it speaks volumes to the quality of service, care, and pride all have shown to our millions of passengers last year. But the accolades don't stop there. In September, the results of the 2019 J.D. Power and Associates Airport Satisfaction Survey were released. I'm proud to say Bush Airport finished 7th among mega airports, while Hobby finished 10th among large airports. As Mayor Turner said recently, we can all be proud, yes, very proud, of our airport system, consistently among the best in the world. To each and every one of you, I say thank you. I want to turn now to some important milestones we have celebrated at Hobby Airport. The numbers are in, and Hobby had a record-breaking year for domestic and international passenger travel. For the first time ever, a total of 14.4 million passengers traveled out of Hobby Airport in 2018, surpassing the 2017 numbers by nearly 8%. While domestic travel numbers set records, our international passenger numbers are through the roof. For the first time since international travel returned to Hobby Airport in 2015, we surpassed the 1 million mark for international travelers out of Hobby. This was a 16% increase from 2017. Business is booming at Hobby. And Hobby Airport is ready for even more. Southwest Airlines may see less downtime for its aircraft. The airline completed its new multi-million-dollar maintenance facility. The 240,000 square foot hangar costs $97 million and can house up to 6 737 aircraft. Turning now to George Bush Airport, where United continues to invest over $500 million. Just this year, United bought online the virtual ramp control tower, a first in the United States. The airline also continues to work on its new United Technical Operations Center and its in-flight training center. Also, United's new $325 million baggage handling system is underway and will add even more world-class service to Bush Airport and the new Mickey Leland International Terminal. In just days, our international terminal will once again reconnect Houston with the 6 inhabited continents of the world. On Monday, we will welcome Ethiopian Airlines' inaugural flight to Houston. Ethiopian Airlines will offer nonstop service from Houston to West Africa 3 times per week. I'm excited to announce that already a large number of those flights are sold out. This service will not only be important to the nation's largest Nigerian community, which lives in Houston, but also to the diverse business community that has demanded access to West Africa for years. Our horizon on the 2nd largest continent on the planet has never looked better than it does today. The future also looks refreshing for Terminal A. We have embarked upon a major effort to modernize Terminal A. Now, believe it or not, there's a lot of vintage, and I mean vintage, infrastructure in Terminal A that still dates back to 1969. So we put together a plan of action that is focused on modernizing the terminal infrastructure and its systems, upgrading the baggage handling system, adding gates, expanding and adding restrooms, and so much more. Our growing number of travelers are just going to absolutely love it. Speaking of traveler growth, at Bush Airport, it has been a record-breaking year fueled by a strong national and local economy, additional routes and flights added by major airlines, all serving Houston. At Bush Airport, we had a stunning 43.8 million travelers in 2018. That's an increase of 8% from 2017. Of that number, 10.7 million were international travelers and 33 million were domestic. Our traveler growth rates were so impressive last year that ACI North America, an trade organization, reports that Houston airport growth is the second largest in the nation among the 20 top American airports. Now let's turn our attention to South, and that is to Ellington Airport. Earlier this year, we christened a new state-of-the-art air traffic control tower. This super sophisticated system can determine things like cloud heights, temperature, rainfall amounts, the presence of lightning in the area, and other conditions. The tower will also be vital to the future operation of the Houston Spaceport. The tower has already received double honors in the Engineering News Record Regional Awards competition. The new control tower won a Best Project Award in the airport transit category, as well as an Excellence in Safety Award. And there's even more excitement to tell you about. Another big breakthrough was announced just a few weeks ago at the Houston Spaceport. Phase 1 now has its first anchor tenant, Flight Safety International. Thank you to Flight Safety. They are set to build one of the region's largest hubs for aviation and aerospace training. The $16 million, 150,000 square foot facility will include 16, scratch 16, make it 20 flight simulators. Best of all, it will have a huge impact on the economy. The Flight Safety Center will bring in hundreds of jobs and will utilize local contractors to build out the high-tech facility. We are investing in our next generation of flight professionals so that the horizon looks more promising, competitive, and include infinite possibility. The future of aviation and travel is also filled with infinite possibility. We are on the cusp not only of the next generation of flight, but also the next frontier of exploration. What will propel us forward must include strong global aviation growth, investments in technology, and the courage to lose sight of the shore so that we can truly achieve what is waiting for us beyond the horizon. Talking about infinite possibilities, in his book, Where Good Ideas Come From, The Natural History of Innovation, Stephen Johnson describes what he calls the adjacent possible. He writes, what the adjacent possible tells us is that at any moment the world is capable of extraordinary change, but only certain change can happen. The trick to having good ideas is not to sit around in glorious isolation and try to think of big thoughts. The trick is to get more parts on the table. Unlocking a new door can lead to a world-changing scientific breakthrough, but it can just as easily lead to a more effective strategy for teaching second graders, or a novel marketing idea for the vacuum cleaner your company's about to release. First, let's explore global aviation growth. In just 20 years, the International Air Transport Association forecasts there will be more than 8 billion travelers, which exceeds the entire population of the world today. Imagine that. A world where global prosperity is no longer hindered by air connectivity. Air travel, at its best, will become a careful and deliberate orchestra, one that will continue to change and shrink the world. Yet, we are seeing events that may threaten some of that future. There's unrest around the world affecting travelers and millions of people. We've seen the violence in Hong Kong, large protests happening in Spain that has held up air travel for days. In Ecuador, we've seen an eruption of violence that shut down the roads to Quito Airport. And just recently, ticket counters in Turkish Airlines were blocked by protesters following change in military strategy. And even there is no civil unrest. Mother Nature is unleashing on our airports too. We all know what Harvey did to us. Just months ago, Tropical Storm Imelda flooded roads to Bush Airport, delayed flights, and stranded some passengers. But with every storm, each devastating event, we have taken notice that what rises out of the ashes of the heart is the heart of humanity. A fierce will to grow stronger, better, bigger than ever. We are also seeing a future where technology helps everyone to feel welcome at our airports. Just months ago, we did something that no other airport had ever done. We teamed up with InfiniTeach, a mission-based technology enterprise, to develop an Access Houston Airport's mobile app that welcomes and supports families that have children with developmental disability. Here's a quick preview of how we are leading the way in that direction. Let's watch.
Hi, my name is Kim Torres, and I'm the Executive Director at the Down Syndrome Association of Houston, and this is my son.
And he be your Tourette.
And we are getting ready to go on a trip.
Traveling can be stressful. To ease your journey, we created an app, Access Houston Airports. With the app, families can find Explorer guides, picture stories that detail each space in the airport. Tap the communications icons to talk or ask for help, and more. Houston Airports is proud to make the airport experience accessible for all.
Well done. That is super well done. How about applause? This means so much to so many families. This is where technology makes the world a better place to navigate and live for all. The app is now available to download, and it is free. Biometric technology is also doing that. Imagine a world where you don't need an ID or a passport to get your boarding pass, to go through security, or even to board your flight. All you need to do is show up. Biometric technology will see your face, or will use your face to authenticate your identity and create a seamless travel journey. With this technology, we will be able to improve our airport operations and help alleviate challenges that arise with an increasing number of travelers. Soon, biometric technology will take us from the curbside to the gate, and we can't wait to lead the way. It's truly the future of passenger travel. Another type of technology that's developing fast and continuing to save us time is autonomous vehicles. Airports around the world are already using car valet, parking robots. Imagine getting to the airport, parking your car in a special lot, and as you walk away to rush to your flight, a robot uses a platform under your car, lifts it up, and parks it for you. France is doing that right now, and several other airports around the world may soon have it too. And the best part, you won't need to tip your valet. Robots, got to get that in. Really important. Robots will also help our wheelchair passengers navigate the airport and get to their gates with ease. The future of ride-sharing is taking new flight. Soon you will see electric air taxis populating skylines in major cities around the world. They're called eVTOL, or electric vertical takeoff landing aircrafts. US and other European companies are all racing to launch this cleaner, quieter, inexpensive form of air transport. Uber, for one, has plans already for an on-demand aviation service by 2023. Major cities have scheduled flights for eVTOL aircraft throughout the world in 2020. eVTOL is on the way, and we can give you a quick lift, literally, to your destination. Another marvel that is making the comeback is high-speed aircraft. These aircraft, built out of materials and advanced engine technologies, will travel at hypersonic speeds. Synergistic air-breathing rocket engines, Sabres as they're known, are in development right now, which could one day allow aircraft to fly up to 5 times the speed of sound. That's Mach 5, or 3,836 miles an hour. At that speed, we will further shrink the globe. A flight from London to Australia could take 4.5 hours. Or how about a flight from Los Angeles to Tokyo in about 2 hours? Progress is being made. The dream of technology traveling across the globe in a few short hours is getting closer. The era of hypersonic flight is near. Now, a colleague of mine once passed me a note that said, "A person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected." I would be remiss if I did not recognize and applaud the outstanding senior staff of the Houston Airport. Senior staff, would you please rise? To each of you, thank you for your contributions and commitments, too numerous to name. Likewise, to the 1,200 dedicated men and women who comprise the Houston Airports, we are far better for your everyday excellence, quality, and integrity with which you go about your business. Thank you for doing more than what is expected, time and time again, and doing it with excellence and grace. Please join me in giving them all a well-deserved round of applause. As I close this afternoon, I want to go back to this because it speaks volumes. Just beyond the horizon of the so-called impossible is infinite possibility. This room is filled with so many leaders, influencers, and champions for the truth. So many of you embrace that concept. You toil every day to bring the impossible into clear view, to make this great city even greater. To each of you, I offer a heartfelt thanks. In large part because of you, the state of the Houston airport system is stronger, more vibrant, and better than ever. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve you and your families. You are our greatest asset, our greatest treasure, and the hinge on which the infinite possibilities swings. Together, let's continue to move forward. Focus on the horizon. We appreciate your time and attention, and thank you very, very much.
You know, as you heard in Scott's introduction to Mario, that Mario's been here about, 9 years now, 2010, be 10 years next year. You think about the progress we've made in our airports, and it's that combination, Mario, of worrying about the little things that gets us that four-star rating, going to a 5-star rating, having the bathrooms that are clean and nice, at the same time, your vision of where we could take this city in terms of airport service, what you're doing at Ellington, an incredible combination. So maybe another round of applause for Mario. Well, thank you all for being here. Let me give you a quick heads up on some of the events that will be taking place next year, because this is our last state of event for 2019. Our annual meeting is now on the calendar. It's January 22nd. So the annual meeting, January 22nd. Scott will give a recap of this year. Bobby Tudor, our incoming chair, will talk about the plans in Houston for the partnership for next year. So I hope you'll join us for that. We'll have State of Houston's petrochemical industry, our second such event, on March 3rd. And on March 6th, the Women's Business Alliance will host the 9th annual Rise to the Top event. And all three of those events, annual meeting, State of Petrochem, and Rise to the Top, will be here at the Hilton Americas. So if I don't see you again, have a wonderful holiday season. I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Thanks again for being here. Have a good day.